Welcome back to the Beat the Odds Horse Racing Show. We have our first major race of the summer, the Grade 1 Haskell. But at Saratoga, we have the Grade 1 Diana, and that's where we're going to start. We have a field of 7 in here, 4 of them from the Chad Brown barn. And that's why it's early on the card. It's really, I think it's pitiful.
Thank you to our friends over at SeatGeek for sponsoring today's episode. SeatGeek is the #1 ticketing app for any live events, sporting events on the market. All you have to do is put in your location and it shows you everything in your area. So go check it out. MLB season is just kicking off. NBA playoffs are around the corner, or just go see your favorite band or person in concert. Go check it out. Download the app. Use code BTO Horse Racing at checkout, and make sure you look for that little green dot that lets you know you're getting a great deal on your tickets. Use code BTO Horse Racing at checkout.
But you got a field of 7 in here, and the favorite is Catherine Marissa. Right behind is Portfolio Duration at 5-2.
Yeah, Chad Brown has this race handcuffed like every year. And like you said, it's sad. Seems like, we get some horses maybe from the West Coast shipping here and, see something show up different. But it's the same old song and dance. You can make a case for all of them, like we say normally every week. All have different running styles. Some like a harder turf than others. But the last big stakes races at Saratoga last weekend, it's 2 weekends ago, the weekend prior, that the Euros, come in here and took it over to them. I'm going to go with Cathedral. Santana's been riding good there. I read some good information on this horse. I want to see if this guy can come in and upset the apple cart. See what happens.
I like that, and I am going to take a Chad Brown. I'm going with Suggesta. This horse just loves to win. 3rd start of the year. Should be her best to date of the year. So hopefully we can spring a little upset with Suggesta.
Can't knock you there, buddy.
Yep. And Dylan Davis aboard. I like it.
Yeah, he's been riding really good at Saratoga.
Yeah.
Since he had that spill, he's been fighting his way back through everything. And here we go. Flavian Pratt, ships over to Monmouth. And Dylan gets a big mount. You got to pull for him. I pull for Dylan Davis all the time. He's a good guy.
Yes. Switching over to the big card, Monmouth. We're going to start off in race number 10, which is the Regret. For filly and mares, 3-year-olds and upward, going 6 furlongs.
Yeah, I got an old horse here that's been on the shelf for a long time, making a comeback. Kilwin. Also cross-entered in Ellis Park, so I don't know where Rusty Arnold's going to go with her. But I've been high on this horse for a long time. She didn't let me down. She won 2 big races last year, the Leslie Lady and the Test, back-to-back in good odds. She must have went a ride to that turf race. That's taking her from Saratoga to run at Kentucky Downs over that European turf course. Something happened after that race, I feel. It's an odd track. It's uphill and downhill. So something was a mishap. But now she's coming off a long way off, and he knows that he's got her right. And I'm ready to see her fire again.
I like it. And I'm going to go with Echo Sound. I'm going a little chalky in here, but first race after a long break, so we'll see. But this horse is 5 for 8 lifetime. She loves to win. She won first time out, so she should be able to come back off the layoff. Echo Sound for me.
Yeah, if you notice in the form, like you stated, she won first time out, and then she was off a long layoff, come right back and won the Miss Preakness. So, they're stablemates. Yep. Echo Sound and Kilwin are stablemates. Both Rusty's got them both. So it tells you probably my horse will probably be scratched, Kilwin, since he's got both of them in here. But we'll see.
We'll see. The United Nations, 1 3/8 on the turf. For the 3-year-olds and upward, Chad Brown has another favorite in here in Program Trading.
You think program trade's going to go off in favor of your big horse just a touch?
I do. I mean, it's Chad Brown. I feel like he wins this turf race every damn year, as well as the Diana. I mean, you see that name, you see Flavian Pratt. I think he'll get bet, and I hope to God he does, because I'm taking just a touch.
I know that's your boy.
I do.
I don't want him. You praising him. He's like you said. He took to that old blades like a duck to water, and he looks like he's only getting better. It looks like as a 5-year-old, this is like his coming out year. All of a sudden, they had a lot of high hopes for him. As a 2-year-old, a 3-year-old, and kind of disappointed. But he's been running big. It's a 2-horse race between them two. I can't see anybody else in this small field winning this race. I'm gonna have to ride right there with you. He's gonna carry a lot of weight this Saturday. Oh, just a touch with old Big T and Kenny on top of him.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, and he went wire to wire last time out. 2 starts before that, he came from 5 lengths out of it. So I reckon, can get him out and see what the pace is like. And like you said, it's pretty much a 2-horse race. So we can feed off program trading and see what's going to happen down the lane.
Yes, sir.
And then the big dog of the week, the Naira Bet Haskell. We got a short field in here, but I think it's a pretty damn good field in here. You got Further Ado, who was the favorite for the Derby and flopped, but has come back to win the Matt Win by Daylight. You got the Puma, who was going to take a lot of money in the Derby, but he had that skin infection and had to be scratched. Iron Honor ran a massive race at the Preakness. And then you got Napoleon Solo, the Preakness winner. But I can't forget that maiden on the outside who looks like he runs his race every time. Sooner or later, he's got to run a bad race for the maiden in top-notch company.
Yeah, O'Sally, he's showing up. He hasn't had a break since November. He's been running since November like clockwork. I think he's going to bounce to the moon in this race. But once again, he's going to get some speed. Solo and Further Ado going to hook up. So he'll have some pace to run into. The Puma will probably be tracking him. Baby Vino, shows a little early foot, but this he reminds me of like when everybody thought Willie Dees was going to put pressure on Magnitude, and he's not in the same class. Further Ado and Napoleon, they're gonna be battling throat latching one another, and then the Puma and Iron Honor, they're gonna be sitting chilly. The Iron Honor's got one more race. He ran into Preakness. Puma's been off a good while. I've always been so high on the Puma, man. He's a tough ass horse. He would have. I'm telling you, man. He might have would have won the Kentucky Derby. He was going to have a big say, especially with that pace setup. He was going to have a tremendous shot in the Kentucky Derby. I feel so bad for the connections. Does he need this race? Is he going to be a little heavy? He just put up, a 59 in, best of 17 down at Gulfstream, his home base. He put a 59 in, 3 back on the 27th. They gave him a good maintenance work, 6 furlong on one team. Gustavo likes to do that, put fitness in him. I think he's going to be a little sharp down the lane. I think I'm going to go with Chad Brown's horse, Iron Honor. Well-bred horse. I feel like after the Preakness, he pointing to this race. It's a lot easier than the Travers. They're going to have a nice pace up front. I'm going to go with Iron Honor. No morning line as of now.
Yeah, that's been weird. I haven't really been able to get a morning line anywhere all weekend yet. But, I love everything you said, but I'm going to just take the other horse. I think the Puma, I think he would have gotten, like you said, he would have gotten the jump on Renegade and Golden Tempo, and they'd have had to run him down. Let's hope it happens this weekend. He's going to let them go and try and run down Napoleon Solo and Further Ado.
Yeah, it's going to be. I'm looking forward to watching the race, to be honest with you. Last week on the push horse, we had a horse that ran second for us, Bullard.
Yeah,
I'll have the horse here coming up a little bit later in the podcast. But we couldn't get the Bun Man. The Bun Man got on the lead with his horse. It's the Warrior.
Yeah,
it's so frustrating when these horses don't back up at all. And like I said, Double M, I think he's a clean trainer. I think he's a hanging nose trainer. I'm sure everybody uses different things at time. But, a lot of people didn't realize Butte was legal out there in Iowa. And I really thought that's why Baffership, Desert Gate, and his other affiliate out there, they ran up the track. Man, it's
That was bad.
It's an embarrassment now. These horses, they don't pick their feet up no more. It's mind-boggling horses to run that work as good as they've been working and to ship out there and never show anything. So, what you want to talk about here? They're going to go to the claim box?
Yeah, let's do it.
Go ahead.
I'll start off, and I know we talked about it and we gave a selection, but I'm scratching the Diana. I mean, this is such a prestigious race. I mean, it's Saratoga. It's early in the meet. We should have everybody pointing to Saratoga. Why do we only have 7 horses? 4 of them from Chad Brown. I get he's the best turf trainer we have. I get it. He's got all the best horses. But 7 horses in a $600,000 race, even if you run third, you could sell that horse in November for over $1 million. I mean, come on. So I'm scratching the Diana. I am so upset that 4 horses from the Chad Brown barn and only 7 are entered.
Man, I'm going to claim something this week.
Let's do it.
I'm going to claim our money man. What does he go for? A Louisiana bred, $2 million. Congratulations to Brett Calhoun, doing a great job of getting that horse ready, ran second behind Further Ado in the Matt win, comes right back around, leading charge, a big chalk. He hangs on, but I feel like if Concepcion don't drop the whip, he might win. I think it did have a little effect in the race. But what a hell of a run. And they go back and put him in the Facing-Tipton sale with the horses in running sale. He brings $2 million. They're going to let Brett keep training. Looks like they're going to point to the Pennsylvania Derby. You got to give props to the Louisiana bred, our money man.
That's what I was going to say. The best part for him is he gets to keep the horse there. Usually when you sell them, they'll go to a Todd Pletcher or somebody. I love that he gets to keep his horse. That was awesome. I couldn't believe it when I kept saying that price go up and up and up. That's awesome for the Louisiana bred, and I hope he runs his ass off in the Pennsylvania Derby.
Yeah, I was coming home from work. I didn't have a chance to, I've been busy. I didn't have a chance to look at anything that day. And a good friend of mine, Mr. Bobby Mahoney, he owns a prestigious restaurant down here in the Biloxi, Mississippi called Mary Mahoney's. He calls me up. He owns a few horses himself. And he said, you see what my money man went for? I was like, no, sir. He said, what do you think he went for? I said, 500,000. He said, nah, you're not close. And then I said, 800,000. He said, come on, Kenny, you're not close. I said, $1 million. He said, you're still not close.
That's
I said, $1.5 million. He said, you're not close, but you're getting there. I said, don't tell me $2 million. He said, bingo. And he's got a great sense of humor. He's a great old guy. It's amazing that a Louisiana bred in the middle of the season right here, no triple digit buyers. I think he's ran a 95 and a 96 or 95, 94, either or. But to go for $2 million, tip your hat to Mr. Money. He's been a solid sire. Brett trained him as well. Congratulations to all connections. And
on the flip side, in that sale, you had Rodriguez, who ran off the screen in the wood. He sold for $80,000. So I was like, you got $2 million for the Louisiana bred.
That was old Bob's special racing that day. He ran off the screen and he ran up the track in the Kentucky Derby right after that. But it's just the things are changing. And one thing I want to bring up was the race at Saratoga this past weekend. It was a stakes race on a turf. You had 2 horses that just went out and ran a 20. And Safi put his horse out there, and it was a Kent Sweezy horse sooner. And I think it was a coupe race. I know some people don't want to hear things, but like I said before, I call a spade a spade. I think he told Pratt, said, hook him up. Don't let Sooner get out there. I got my other one in the back. I mean, your horse, Zytos, ran a great race, came up the rail, ran second. My horse Scratched was won an Italian Soiree, and I think he probably could have, if I don't know why he scratched, I have no idea, but I think if he was in the race, I don't know if Motion chose not to scratch him. I didn't see the final scratch call on it, or if it was a vet scratch, but it would have set up for him beyond perfect. And as I spoke last week, I didn't know if there was going to be enough speed in the race for Italian Soiree, because it was such a short field, and it looked like Suna was, the lone speed. But man, to sacrifice that horse. Congratulations to Mr. Ramsey. He's been around on game in a long time. But I'm telling you, it was a coupe race. They ran Sweezy's horse in the ground, and they set it up as other horse. They come just galloping by. I disagree with that.
All right. Yeah. I mean, I get it. I mean, that when you texted me, did you see that? And I was pulling it up, and I saw the horse loping back to the winner's circle, and I just saw the first opening quarter, and I texted you 20-4, and you were like, yes. I was like, that's unbelievable.
That's an old adage. That's one of the things I use in handicapping is I tell people there's always a race within the race, and just a lot of times we all just bet these races. We watch them with a betting mindset, and then we make an opinion and we say, God, this horse, he died like a dog, yada, yada, yada. But, that's why you got to go back and make a note. This was a race within this race. It was deliberate no matter what happens. And so I wouldn't fade on Suna next time out for Sweezy. I'd bookmark the horse and see what happens. But just remember, on a handicapping angle, don't just look at the PP lines and think this horse flattened out and whatever, or something happened. There was a race within the race. It was deliberately the horse got throat latched and it took everything out of the horse. Correct.
I mean, when a same trainer has two horses, it's most likely one's a rabbit. It happens all the time.
Yep. Even though they're stakes races or grade races.
I mean, people say it happens in every grade one with Coolmore. They have 9 horses in it, and one of them's going to win. Most of the time, it's not the rabbit. But
yep.
All right. With that being said, let's get into the horse of the week.
All right. Well, like I said earlier in the thing, we had Bullard. He ran hard second for us. He's a good horse. Just couldn't catch the lone speed, and the old jet fuel got him around the track. So this week we're going to go to Saratoga on Saturday. 5.5 furlongs on the weeds. Race number 4. Really, really like this horse a lot. The number 7 Atfield for Thomas Morley. Just ran a solid race in the Jim Murphy on Preakness Day. Ran third. He was trapped down inside. I love the open outside post today. He's going to have the outside on his own. He's going to lay it right off. Zayas is riding this week, and Santana's at Monmouth riding. So he's 6-1 on the morning line. He's getting first-time Lasix. He broke his maiden over this track last year in August. Set a nice little trip, come with a big zoom move. I'm looking for a repeat. So let's get it home. Atfield at 6-1. Win, place, and show, baby.
Love it. Tom Morley, he can spring an upset at the spot as well. I love it. Let's ride. Thank you all for listening. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and share this with your friends. Get them into the best sport in the world, and this will be the best podcast for them to get into. So share it with a buddy. Get one new fan in there. That's the listeners' goal for the week is to get one new fan to love the sport and to watch our podcast. Kenny, you have anything to close?
I'm good, buddy. Thank you for asking.
Let's roll. Let's